morning, Cliff Bar for later. Probably won't have to eat another Cliff Bar, but just in case. And an Uncrustable. I'll be on campus for quite some time. Also gonna bring my cool reduced water bottle. I just got out of my first class for the day, which was ceramics. It was pretty cool. I look very, very messy. I'm going to show you guys what my pants and my shirt looks like. It is ridiculous. These nails have to go because there's no way I can actually really do it and be precise. It continues to put divots inside of the clay, which is absolutely not ideal ever. So what I'm walking through right now is the oval because I technically don't have class until 3 o'clock because it's a stats class that I'm still waitlisted for. Life is good. Got my water. About to eat my Uncrustable and sit down somewhere and edit.
Take me on a trip around the moon. You add shooting stars to all my blue. I'm falling in love with every move. You give me something to lose, baby. All I need is.
This afternoon, I took 30 minutes to do a focus sprint on creating our brochure for the Student Involvement Fair. For those of you who are new here, I am the president of the Black Advertising Strategic Communication Association, which is a professional development organization geared towards equitizing opportunities for minority students that are looking to work in strategic communications, advertising, marketing, PR, or even media. And over the summer, I spearheaded our project of revamping the entirety of the brand, and it looks so good now. We're so vibrant, and we show up so much more confidently to talk to students about what we're doing. And I realized that there was a gap in our offerings. We didn't have any print collateral or really any brochure to just showcase pretty much all of the offerings that we have for students. So I decided to take the time to go in and add all of our new branding to this brochure, as well as all of the imagery that we took at our professional development trip, as you can see. And that image to the right, I am sitting in a PR office in Brooklyn, and it was really awesome to get to see all of the amazing people. So let me know what you guys think. I think it turned out really well, and if you want to see the actual results, make sure to check out my vlog at the Student Involvement Fair.
Yeah. It's heavy. Famous love. Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know.
Just left the Digital Union. It's now like 1:20 and we're going home because I don't have another class today. I'm still waitlisting for my classes. So I've just been editing a video. But this is the beautiful campus of Ohio State, guys. Nice days like this, when it's not nice out, and it's just kind of like, ugh. I'm going to the pharmacy right now to go pick up my prescription. Pulled up to the drive-through pharmacy and I'm about to pick up my decongestant medicine as well as my gargling mouthwash to like numb my throat, because as you guys know, I started feeling under the weather yesterday and I really want to stay on top of it, because if you don't sit down, God will sit you down, okay? I feel like I've just been doing way too much and I've just been putting a lot of other things in front of my own personal needs and like taking care of myself, and my body's just trying to remind me of that, like, girl, relax. I'm just gonna take the rest of the afternoon to edit today's video, and then I'm honestly just gonna nap because that's what I need. Tomorrow I don't have class, which is really nice. I need to go to the gas station, and then I have a package that just arrived, and I'm supposed to be working with a brand for another video, so those are a couple of things that are on my plate right now. I've done this one other time, and it was pretty easy, but I'm in need of this medicine. You guys know Black Mafia Family came back on, and I'm not a Snowfall fan, but I think that's coming back, and I want to start watching that, and then I need to watch the new episode of Black Mafia Family. The first episode of this second season, like, this is a hot take, but I just didn't really like it. I understand, like, they were just trying to do the backstory of, like, you know, where the boys are going to be going and, like, how and why they started to drift apart and make the choices that they were making. However, like, why do we have, like, 7 celebrities in an episode? I don't know. I just feel like when shows choose to bring in a bunch of comedians and, like, famous people, it cheapens the show. Like, I loved The Walking Dead because I really knew none of, like, the show. Yes. Rikki Joyner. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. You as well. I just finished getting gas. It was good to have a full tank. Taking care of all my priorities at the beginning of the week. Yeah. And if I could give you guys any advice, make sure you prioritize your priorities at the beginning of the week, because I know as college students, it's likely that, you know, you're thinking about, oh, I want to go to this party. Oh, I want to be able to get my nails done. Oh, I want to be able to do this. Oh, I want to be able to do that. I would much rather you cut corners and cut costs in the things that you want to do than have to cut corners and cut costs on things that you have to do. So, like, I need to fill my gas tank up. I make sure to have food for myself at the beginning of the week, and I pay for all of that at the beginning of the week. So by the end of the week, when it comes to the weekend, my weekend is based off of whatever funds is left over for the type of experiences that I want to have. So if I want to buy a skip the line ticket, maybe we're not going to buy a skip the line. Maybe we're going to wait in the line. Most of the time, I don't even have to worry about a ticket because my friends like promote the parties. But I'm just saying, like, in instances where you guys want to do certain things, it's much better for you to budget and, you know, just cut down on a little bit of the things. Like, instead of getting a crazy entree when you go out, you can eat a little bit before you go and just get an appetizer. Like, as college students, I know, you know, I understand. There's been times when I've gone out and I'm just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be spending $35. You know, so don't be a frivolous spender. Spend money smart, because you never know when you're going to have an emergency. You never know when there's just like something that's going to pop up that you randomly have to pay for. So just handle your stuff at the beginning of the week. So at the end of the week, on the weekend, you know, okay, maybe I shouldn't be going out to eat, doing all of this crazy stuff. But at least when I leave the club at night, I can buy myself, you know, a McChicken or something. You know, that's $1. Work within your budget. And your friends 9 times out of 10 are broke too, babe. That's the glory of being in college, because 9 times out of 10, your friends are just as broke as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friend asked me last weekend, and you know, in life, you have ups and downs, guys. I've had downs. Don't get it twisted. I'm not rich. One time my friend asked me if I wanted to go out to brunch. I said, girl, I just can't. The brunch funds is not funding. You know what I'm saying? So just know your limits. Like, and spend smartly and make smart goals. And with my That Life financial planner, I have a goal set in mind. Like, I don't want to spend frivolously and like expenses outside of all my bills. I don't want to spend more than $500 a month. So I have a goal every day. I have like a marker for every day. If, let's say, the month has 31 days, I have about $16 a day that I can spend. So I try to stay under that every single day. And I know if I stay under that every single day, then I will be spending less than $500 frivolously that month. So just try to keep that in mind every single day. Like, I need to spend no more than $8 a day, because you have no idea how much that can help you. That'll put into perspective. Instead of going to Panera and getting a pick 2, maybe I should go to Chick-fil-A and get a kid's meal. It's those small little changes that you make on a regular, consistent basis throughout the week that can make or break the type of money that you have on the weekend, and vice versa. Hopefully that little nugget was helpful to somebody. But we're about to head home now. It's hot in the sun. It's lunchtime. It's about 2:19. I'm gonna eat, and then around 3 o'clock, I'm gonna dive right back in to editing this video. I'll tell you guys a little bit about what I was doing earlier today. So I went to the Digital Union on campus, and I worked on a brochure for our org, and I just put all the information on there about who's in our network, what we're about, put some images in there from the actual professional development trip that we went on. And then I've also been corresponding with my marketing committee member. She's creating a couple of flyers for the other org that I'm a part of. So I had to oversee that. My secretary from Bosca just messaged me and was asking me about this little doodle thing where you can message people, and we can do like mass text messages to people. So yeah, I came up with that idea last semester. I was like, I think we should do mass text to people. because I get them all the time from like brands, and it just keeps you in the loop. But instead of us relying solely on email, because a lot of students are terrible with looking at their email, including myself, we can just, you know, text them and say, hey, the Zoom is starting soon, the virtual learning session with X, Y, and Z is starting soon, like that type of thing. So I think that'll be very, very helpful. And Eunice sent me a wig, so I have to schedule with my hairstylist when I can come in to get a wig installed. But I really want to do some color. What's y'all doing? I think I should do some color. It's not that good. It's not that good. This is a great excerpt from the book that I've been reading this month, and I want to present this to you guys before we close out today's video. And this says, we spend a lot of time talking about external forces working against us, but I want to challenge you to consider that perhaps your greatest enemy lies between your ears. Have you ever considered that your mind could be working against you and not for you? If your thoughts aren't helping you become wiser, more compassionate, focused, and disciplined, then what is it making you become? Change your mindset. Because so many of us discourage ourselves. We belittle ourselves. We talk down to ourselves. And you have to think, when did anyone ever say that to you? Did anyone ever explicitly state that you cannot do that? Just think about the self-talk that you do on a regular, consistent basis. In the next couple of weeks and the rest of this series, I am going to be very intentional about my self-talk, what I affirm for myself every single day. Comment down below one thing that you guys are going to affirm for the rest of the month. I am affirming for myself that I am enough. I think oftentimes I can think that I need to have more of this or more of that, or I need to know more about this or know more about that, or to just be or be accepted. But I have to understand that I am enough and that I'm 20. I'm not expected to have it all figured out. But I think there's beauty in being an expert, and there's also beauty in being an amateur. And you can bring fresh thoughts and new ideas in a lot of other spaces when you are an amateur, when you don't know. Like, I'm taking this ceramics class and I'm not an expert. And this is something that this is a completely new skill that I'm having to tackle, but it's strengthening my mind to understand that there's going to be times when you don't get it. It's about the grit. It's about practice, continuous repetition, and trying again and again and again. Because who's to say, although I'm an amateur, that my skill set and my skill level will not exceed someone who's naturally gifted that comes into the course, but doesn't put in a lot of effort. And that's what we learn in the book, Grit, Power, Passion, and Perseverance, which is also another great read that I talked about, I think on day 7. As long as I'm trying and I'm bringing all of me to the forefront, that is enough. The next thing that I'm affirming is that I am not easily impressed. As I navigate dating and talking to guys and experiencing different experiences, I think it's often for a lot of women, specifically Black women, we are expected to accept the bare minimum and sometimes even the bare maximum. And what I mean by that is, as someone who has aimed for the stars and landed on the moon, I think it's a disservice for me to listen to the advice of individuals that say, hey, settle because he's got X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, you should like him because he's got X, Y, and Z. And I think there are a lot of intangibles and there are a lot of things that I need and I require in a relationship that exceeds what comes to the eye, what is liked or admired by most. Just because he works in finance, or just because he's got his own apartment, just because he's got a car, does not mean, oh my God, I'm supposed to be head over heels for him. This is allowing me to put the power back into my hands. And in courtship, I am supposed to be interviewing the other person and I am not the interviewee. You know what I'm saying? It's more so me looking at them and saying, I'm not easily impressed. There are some other intangibles, characteristics, traits. Are you a man of God? Like, these are things that I have to assess over time. And this is just something that I'm going to be affirming for myself over and over again, because I think it's easy to idealize and kind of romanticize someone's existence and their being when in all actuality they're giving you nothing. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's an us thing, but I thought I would share that because I know that there are a lot of other young girls who are navigating dating, and some people admire the way in which I think about things and some people hate the way I think about things, but like and mainly the ones that hate the way I think about things are guys, so that should tell you that I'm thinking right. But yeah, I think that's something that I'm also affirming for myself so that I can navigate dating in a safe and healthy way with healthy boundaries that puts the power back into my lap. Just because he meets the threshold does not mean he meets the requirement. Does that make sense? I plan to do a recap of how I'm feeling midway through our 31-day reset, but it was the weekend and it was like so much going on. So I want to update you guys on how I'm feeling after 2 weeks of doing this JanYOuary 31-day reset. I think this has been absolutely amazing. When I tell you I have not been this focused in my life, I have been extremely focused. My That Life Planner has substantially helped me with staying on top of all of my daily tasks and the things that I intended to get done this month. Put together a list of the things that I thought were most pertinent for me to get done in 1 month. And I think a lot of you can learn so much from doing a series like this, because so many of you are in the comments letting me know, like, I cleaned out my car, I reorganized under my desk, I did this, I did that. And like, that really, really excites me to know that all of us collectively are trying to get things together, you know. Life is honestly what you make of it, and I think I was a victim of my own mindset, a victim of perfectionism, and honestly just a victim of laziness. And I came to a point where staying the same just was not cutting it, so I needed to make some changes. And when I tell you guys, this is a moment of transparency. For months, I was so anxious. I had so much anxiety, and I don't know why I was so anxious. I think it was just because there was so much pressure for me to perform at such a high level, and coming off of a summer of like being in New York and doing so much amazing things, coming back to school, I'm in an apartment, I'm running an org, I'm the marketing director for another org. Like, I just had so much on my plate, and I was taking 18 credit hours, and I think that was just making me very restless. I never turned my mind off, and I never did anything really for me. I also wasn't taking time for myself. Does that make sense? I was like doing things. I was buying myself flowers. I was like cooking, and like that was very therapeutic and things of that nature. But I still didn't feel like I was being served because I wasn't taking care of my mental well-being. And I was never turning things off. Like, when I was doing things, I was creating content. And so now I've gotten to a place where it feels good to do these things, because I do these things in private as well as on camera. And it's no longer just a performance. It's honestly a habit. And it's something that I've been able to sustain to really allow myself to thrive, because I understand that my vision board is nothing without him. My goals are nothing without him. I can try to do so many different things, but if I don't consult him, if I don't talk to him, and I don't have a relationship with him, if I don't seek him out on a regular, consistent basis, I'm essentially chasing the wind. And so I really, really, really want you guys to understand that. For those of you who aren't Christians, who aren't believers, I hope that this series has encouraged you to get closer to God. Like, I personally have always sort of had one. But I think in those times when things really go wrong, when I feel like I'm most distant, the most beautiful thing about myself is that I'm always willing to consult him and get back right. You know, like, I'm always willing to say, you know what, you're wrong. Like, you're living life wrong. You're going about things a little crazy, Rikki. You're a little unhinged. Let's get back right. And he always welcomes me with open arms. And like, I open my Bible and it's just the scripture that I need. I open my She Reads Truth Bible app and it's exactly what I need. I watch a Sarah Jakes Roberts video and that's exactly what I need. Like, it's crazy how God just knows exactly what you need and he brings it to you. So I'm no longer living life without him. I literally can't. I never did live without him, but I just was like living for everyone else. I was like the work mattered, the school mattered, and everything else mattered more than him. And of course, there are problems that come with that. There's stress that comes with that. And because I didn't have him at the center of my world, at the center of my day, it was like I was getting overwhelmed and I was losing my mind. Even just these last couple of days, like since school has started, it's gotten crazy. And I've been reminded that this is why I was so anxious, because there was so much on my plate. I would allow that to cut into my intimate time with him. But it's just like at the end of the day, if you can make time for this, you can make time for that, then you can make time for him. Like, so I just have to get myself in order, remember what the priority is. And the priority is him. The priority is being the salt of the earth and the light of the world in all that I do. And that's what we're all supposed to do, right? So I'm really, really excited. I think this challenge has put into perspective so much for me. If you guys want more of my thoughts and more of like my mindset shifts and things that I'm doing, make sure to listen to the first 2 episodes, actually 3 episodes of this season. We have Show Up as Her, Control Your Climate, and Have the Audacity. Those are 3 of the biggest tenets of what is going to be my mindset shift for this year, because I'm no longer waiting for someone to clap and cheer me on to show up and do what I need to do. There's been days when I've uploaded a JanYOuary and the comments were looking real skim and slim to none, and I was like, I don't know if I want to still do this, but I still did it. And that's what it's all about, like discipline, grit, like just do it. Just do it, because he told you to. He told you to. He didn't say when you did it, everyone's going to be clapping and cheering you on and happy. Like, no. Obedience sometimes doesn't look like praise from the world. But the thing that matters the most is that you're getting praise from him. And I think that's what we really have to put into perspective these days, is that when you really, truly say yes to God, you have to understand that you are not going to get instant gratification and validation from the world. And if that is something that you often seek or that often gratifies you, you're going to have to relinquish that, because the way God works, it's very interesting. Patience, sometimes it may take 2 years. And I have testimonies of that. Like sometimes you may not have anyone cheering you on, but he sees what you're doing. So keep going. Keep going, guys. We're halfway through the month. Keep going, stay strong. Like there's so much that we can continue to do in the rest of this month. If you have something that you want to start, just get it done. Like my good friend always says, just get it done. That's all that we need to do. So yeah.